Hi, this is Tyrone. I'm here, and I'm doing something different. I'm actually the location at Park Street, and I'm gonna talk about my song and why I wrote it. But it's a little, the stories to it. So it's gonna be a little long. If you don't want to watch it, you don't have to. But I thought it'd be nice to do this. I had a couple of people complain to me saying the song's a little whiny. You don't have to listen to it. It's all good. Some people didn't understand it. I don't know how you don't understand it when I wrote this nice piece towards the end about my cat. And the song is about the Lord and how He saved our lives and our souls. And basically, I'm very grateful. And I love my Lord Jesus Christ, and hopefully I could do better through the years. But I want to talk about my, I used to go to this school right here, the Lawler, second grade. It was pretty neat back in the day. I remember we had it was cool times there. I had the A-team pickup, van, little truck, and all the kids went crazy. I remember my grandmother picking me up once or a couple of times. It was kind of nice to see her do it. That was strange, but that's how my grandmother was. She was very caring and loving, and she was the best thing in the whole wide world. She never let me down, like some people that I know in the family. But so I want to talk about the house right there, the brown one. My uncle owned it. Right now that's new. Before it was, it was green. It had 5 units and had a store. The store was on the right side and stuff like that. It was a nice building. It was weird because in Oak Street it was green too. It was a 3-unit, and my uncle just got another green building. I love green, so. And you kind of appreciate the building over the years, and I didn't appreciate it then. But it really hurt my uncle because he really loved the building a lot. Because I remember he used to come by so much, and he loved it because he had his own little convention store. And he was a big fan of Ronald Reagan. He was a Republican, and he did stuff for Bush too. He continued on to that point and retired after that, because after the building went, it was all over. But the cool thing is, I'll never forget, is my uncle used to come by, and we used to get the flyers, and we used to put the flyers, in the neighborhood, and Lawrence and Ronald Reagan and stuff. And had a really good time. And Walt had a lot of highlights. He had some pictures in the paper, helping the campaign and stuff like that. And Ronald Reagan was really grateful. And so was Bush. Another highlight for memorial he had was his Bush sister came to his convention store. And we had a little party. We celebrated. He was really happy. We had a little good moments, and my uncle really loved Ronald Reagan a lot, and he liked the Bush too, so it was kind of cool. And we did the flyers for Bush too. And we did other stuff, we hold signs, and we got cookies out of it. That's what he paid us, and Coke. And for a kid, we didn't care because we love cookies and drinking Coke. But I want to thank Manuel for everything, helping out his sister over the years, and he gave her cheap rent. Moore was a very good guy, because even Ortelia, he gave him cheap net rent to him too. So God bless you, Moore, and thanks for everything. You're a really great uncle, actually, for me. Gracias por todo. And so I want to talk about my father. He had a beautiful voice. And I used to be in the choir, and me and Randy and Vicky, we used to sing, the Assumption stuff. And we used to sing quite a bit, and I had a really good time. But they stopped the program, and that was it. But I used to hear my father sing a lot in Park Street, and I used to watch musicals. That's why I learned it from him. Mario Lanza and stuff, and Howard Keel, and Gordon McRae, and Gene Kelly, Elvis Presley, and all these guys. And I used to watch them all day, almost, just about. Not all the time, but you know, every chance I had. But I used to hear my father play the piano, and he'd be singing, and his voice was so loud. I was like, I gotta check it out, how far I could hear it. I could hear his voice so loud a block away. That's how strong it was. My father didn't need a microphone. It's crazy. And when I went back in the house, I could hear the windows shake. I mean, that's power. You know, that's the one thing my father had. I mean, he's really, really talented. He was really artistic. He could draw. He was very gifted, my father. Unlike me, I'm not really that gifted, but I enjoy doing this as a hobby, writing songs about my life, and I get a kick out of it, you know. But I want to say one thing, Pops, you had a lot of gifts. One best gift you ever had was not just your voice, but you had my mother, who was a good and loyal Cubana woman. Unlike my Cuban wife, she wasn't loyal. She was a liar, and she ran with Antonio, Miami. But the one thing I want to tell you, Pops, what's greater than anything is being a father. It's better than fame and fortune. The greatest thing for a mother and a father is being a father and a mother. Nothing beats it. You can have all the money in the world, it really doesn't matter. So, and I hope you keep on singing. I heard the good news that you are singing. I was praying for you to go back to singing. I was trying even through the 90s, but you wouldn't listen. I was going to pay for your schooling. But it's all good now. You never give up. I know your heart was broken and mom's gone and stuff, but sing for God, because the Lord loves you, and sing for mom, because mom loves you too, and she's watching you, and so is the Lord. And you know, my father and my mother wrote songs together. My father wrote long songs, and the cool thing was Ronald Reagan put one in the library my father wrote. You know, God bless Ronald Reagan. At least one of your songs survived, Pops. All the other ones burned that you had, and it is tough. But you gotta get back. I hope you go back to writing. This is what you're good at. So, weird thing is the fire department is here. How ironic, huh? So, I want to show you the house where it used to be, so you get an idea. This brown building is where the house was previously, and the store was on the right. It was a 5-unit. My uncle loved it, of course. And the building was closer to the end of this fence, almost, just about. And this building caught on fire, and they boarded it up. And it kept going on fire 2 more times. Well, 3 more times. And the 4th one was the charm. So, and the weird thing is, I want to talk about how bad it was. The drugs were really infested here. It was bad. It was a tough neighborhood. Basically, it was the ghetto. And that's the problem, you know, with drugs. And it's like an epidemic. And we need to pray for these people, because that's the number one thing that is killing America is the drugs. I don't like pot, I don't like cocaine, I don't like heroin, I don't like it all. So stay away from them. I hope you will. But I remember when I was a kid, this building right here, it was filled with a bunch of people, and I was walking from the store late at night. It was probably around 9:50, And I'm walking right in front of my house, and the guy comes over and he said, "Hey kid, come here." He had a flashlight. I couldn't see. I was like blinded. And I said, he says, "Come here." And he almost grabbed me by the arm. I said, "No way, man." And I ran over there. He says, "Hey, go get him. Go get that kid." And I couldn't believe it. They were going to try to hurt me, or who the hell knows, maybe kidnap me. The next day I went to school, and told the teacher. She couldn't believe it. And that's the thing I want to talk about, how tough this neighborhood it was, and how me and my brother, Randy, went through a lot. And Anthony and them didn't understand because, they were too young. But Randy was so bad that he had my father drive him to the school. But I'm going to tell you, when I was at the Leahy, there was this kid I knew, and he was a small kid. And then Nelson comes out of nowhere and wants to fight him. And I protected him, and I fought Nelson. And Nelson and all of them were pissed. And that's why usually, people are, the bullies, they come after the other person. They don't go by themselves. They don't go one-on-one. They always have a little posse. So Nelson and them all were pissed off that I defended the other kid. And years later, Randy has a fight with this kid, and he starts with him. Randy protects himself, kicks the kid in the jewels a bunch of times, and then they come after me, and Randy says, "Hey, they're after me because of you." Now he's after all of it. A year later, they still have a vendetta. And that's how crazy it was. And then I was walking, back home, and 30 kids. I mean, there was a lot of kids, and they're like, "Hey, you better bring this Randy out. If you don't bring him out of the house, we're gonna beat you up." And that was the one time I was afraid. I couldn't believe it, how intense. I said, "Listen, Randy's not gonna come out, man. I'm not forcing my brother to come out, And I went inside the house. I told my father, I said, "Listen, they want Randy, and they say if I don't get Randy out here and blah blah blah, they're gonna beat me up too, right? And they're not gonna listen." And he says, "No, you tell them." So I went out there. I told them, "Hey, Randy's not coming out, guys. You need to get home." They're all pissed. I went back in the house. I said, "Dad, you're gonna have to go out there and tell these kids to get lost." That's how bad the neighborhood was. Finally, a father comes out, tells them to get the hell out. They finally leave. But they're only tough because they had a little posse around them. This is stuff I had to deal with. I remember one time I'm walking back from back home, and I'm talking to my other friend, and this kid just punched me right in the face. I told him, I said, "I gotta get you the next day, right?" I was pissed. Next day, I ended up fighting him, and at the Oliver, and Riga broke it up right away because he didn't want me to get expelled, because I had a lot of fights, and a lot of people picked on me and stuff like that. But hey, a lot of people pick on everybody, And I just want to say, don't kill yourself because of bullies. People are going to make fun of you, whoever you are. Doesn't matter what you are, what color, what creed, whatever. People are just creeps, so you just got to keep going, So that's the message I want to say. And so now I got to talk about inside, when we live inside the house, the apartment. And why, when I wrote the song, I said house, because it sounds better, house than apartment. The thing was, me and Vicky and Randy, we really couldn't sleep, and these people were always trying to get inside the house. I remember a time Randy waking up and the guy's looking out the window. Randy was startled because we couldn't believe it. My sister used to sleep in our room because she was afraid, and they would try to open her window too, quite a few times. And one time it was so bad that my grandma was on the phone. We're inside the house, by the way, and they're trying to break in the house, and they're trying to get through the window in my sister's room. The guy's halfway there, and I'm saying, "What the hell are you doing? Get out of here!" Guy finally gets out. He gets out of the window, jumps over the fence. He falls down. It was ridiculous how bad it was. They would break in even when my grandma was on the phone, even when we were inside the house. That's how bad. That's why I can't stand drugs. And then there was another time someone left the other door open. Our door to our apartment was locked, but the idiots that lived in the second first, they didn't lock the door, and the guy was trying to break down the door. And my parents came out and they said, "Oh, you guys gotta stop making noise, blah, blah, blah." And I says, "Mom, Pops, didn't you hear there was a guy breaking down the door?" And they didn't believe us. They thought we were, misbehaving, staying up because we wanted to. Really, we didn't. Regardless of what we did back then, and I want to say this to all parents, your kids are gonna be up, they're gonna run around and all that stuff. We can't help ourselves, let's be honest. You should always listen to your kids when someone's trying to break down a door, or they're trying to break inside the house. Always. Because kids don't make that up, So hopefully you listen to this word of wisdom here from me. So when you have kids, hopefully people know and listen to their, the truth. Because kids don't make that up, someone's breaking in. So that's the stuff we had to deal with, me and Vicky and Randy. We had to deal with a lot of stuff. I remember one time, me and my sister and Randy were walking, we're in the street over there, and a guy opens the door and says, "Hey, you guys want candy?" I says, "No, we don't want any candy, sicko." And the guy wanted us to get in the car. That's how crazy it was. And another time, my brother Randy was crossing the street, and the guy hit him, and he didn't even stop. I couldn't believe it. It was crazy. Luckily, my brother didn't get hurt. All he had was a few bruises on his tush. It was such a bad neighborhood. And then there was another time someone got shot, and there was, paintballs on the car windows and stuff like that. It was actually blood. None of us did touch it, thank God. But it was pretty scary, It was really rough neighborhood. And it's sad, So I hope you like this video, and I want to talk about, so the fire happened, I already told you the date, July 12th, in the morning. I had this, before I was going to bed, I had this, and my mind was telling me to put all your clothes on, all that stuff. I really felt it was my guardian angel, to be honest with you, warning me. And I didn't really listen. All I had was my shorts on. But I started putting my pants on, my t-shirts and all that stuff, and my new sneakers and stuff like that. And I said, "What the heck am I doing, man? It's so hot. Why would I put all this stuff on?" And something was telling me, stay up. And I was trying to be good. I was like, I should have just stayed up. I wish I did, and I didn't. Because it was really strong. It was really permission, And so I didn't, and I went to bed, and all of a sudden there's, I hear this, I was kind of like, in between, almost asleep but not. I hear this bottle hits the building. It was probably a lighter fluid, and it lit up the building on fire. And it started to burn, and then I heard people screaming and saying, "Get out, there's a fire." And it's pretty heavy, so it was sad. It was pretty tough. So we all got out right away. My father said, "Hey, grab Randy," and stuff like that, and he had Vicky and Anthony and Michael. So I had to wait till the fire department to go through. So, pretty cool, huh? The fire truck coming by. So right after that, we got out of the house. Ortelia, everybody, 5 families, they all lost everything, and that was pretty tough. But we all got out, thank God, alive, all of us. And it started to burn pretty quickly. It took only like 2 minutes. And the fire department couldn't come because there were so many fires in Lawrence that night. It was like, I felt like it was like orchestrated in a way, but there's no proof in that, but they couldn't come in time. And by the time they came, the whole thing was lit. you know. And my father, we're all watching it from here, this spot here where the pole is. We all stand right there while we watched the house, on fire, and we had no clothes on. We only had I only had my shorts on. And we watched the house burn right here in front of us. And it's pretty sad. But like I said, we're lucky we got out and got through with it, But I gotta tell you, what annoyed me when I went in high school, freshman year, I only had a couple, 2 pair of pants, me and Randy, and we had to share each our Mario t-shirts. He used to make fun of me and Randy a lot. Where Randy went to the Frost because he had one more year of 8th grade, and I was freshman. Freshman year was really tough for me. They were really making fun of me, and I didn't tell anybody I had a fire, for a long time. I kept to myself, but I couldn't stand them making fun of me wearing the same clothes. And I finally, told them all off. I says, you know why I wear the same clothes? And they're like, yeah, why? Because what, you poor and stuff? I says, yeah, I'm poor. I says, I lost everything. I had a fire, you idiots. And then after that, they stopped making fun of me. I mean, that's the stuff you had to deal with. Kids are cruel, man. You gotta realize that. There's always someone gonna make fun of you. It doesn't matter what happens, what misery you go through, because people love when you have misery. They don't really try to console you or any way. They try to make it tougher for you. But these are the crosses you gotta deal with. You gotta suck it up, But me and Vicky and Randy, we dealt with a lot of stuff, and we got through it and persevered because of the Lord. And so did my father and my mother. And so I want to thank my Aunt Abita, because after the fire, we lived in her house for a month and a half. Uncle Perry and her let us sleep there every day, and we ate their food and stuff like that, and she did a lot. Abita is one of the best aunts, I have, and God bless you, Abita. Thank you for everything. I know people say mean things to you, but they don't have your heart and your charity, because God will reward you for your goodness. And thank you, Uncle Perry, too. You guys were very good, and God bless you. And thanks to Angela, too, because Vicky slept at Angela's house with Christina. So my mother had good sisters and brothers who helped her out. And that's what family's supposed to do, help each other out. And I hope Anthony and Michael and Rose, what's important is family. And nobody's perfect in this, none of us are. We all did mean things to each other. We got to forgive each other and move on. Take one day at a time. Because life is precious, and the Lord gave us a second chance. I wrote this song not just for you. I wrote this song for me. I think we all needed a reminder in our hearts, because the Lord was very good, and to my father. I hope you like it, Pops. I'll be having another video about my cat. I can't talk about my cat right now. This is about my life. And see you in the next video. Have a good day.